Let's dive right into a pretty chilling reality. Last night at 2 a.m., someone attempted suicide simply because their best friend ignored them for 3 days. Just 3 days, and their psychological threshold completely shattered. That is the stark reality of being ignored. As we'll see, this isn't just some simple social weapon. Psychologically speaking, it's a nuclear bomb.
Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're decoding the hidden power dynamics of the silent treatment. And more importantly, we're going to empower you with actionable, psychology-based rules to counter this manipulation. What you're going to learn today will fundamentally change how you protect your own mind and how you handle the toxic people in your life.
All right, let's jump right into section 1, the violence of silence. So, look at the stark contrast here. Everyone knows what visible violence is, right? Insults, hitting, yelling. But the absolute most dangerous kind? It's the violence you literally cannot see. It happens when someone intentionally leaves your messages on read, cuts you off mid-sentence just to take a phone call, or, even worse, looks right through you in a room like you're made of glass. So, what actually happens up here? What does your brain do when you're cut off or ignored like that? Well, from a psychological standpoint, human beings desperately need validation, acknowledgement, and concrete proof that we exist. When that's just ripped away from you, your brain basically scrambles and goes a little crazy trying to bridge that gap. Which brings us perfectly to section 2, the psychology of disregard. Without that proof that you exist to the other person, your brain literally short circuits. It instantly drops into a state of cognitive distortion and starts generating these incredibly toxic conclusions. I'm invisible. I'm worthless. I don't even matter. And boom, that right there is the trap. That psychological mind game completely hijacks your internal monologue. Here's the really crucial point. Unlike a physical wound where you know an attack happened and you can eventually process it, this silent punishment gives you absolutely zero closure. You just keep wondering, what did I do wrong? Why are they angry? Am I really that bad? Your mind starts viciously questioning itself. Self-doubt kicks in, your confidence crashes, and the manipulator, they don't even have to lift a finger. They just sit back and stay perfectly silent. Okay, let's move to section 3, the manipulator's secret game. There's actually a really dark psychological secret behind this behavior. Ignoring you, it isn't an absence of action. It's an active, calculated power play. I mean, think about it. If they truly didn't care about you at all, they wouldn't expend the psychological energy to strategically ignore you. Ignoring someone basically screams, I want you to suffer. I want you to come crawling back. I want you to reach out first. It's a game of control, pure and simple. Just look at this stark psychological reality when it comes to emotional investment. The person who cares less holds absolute control over the relationship. When you care too much about someone, you give them the leverage to hurt you. You become the powerless victim. But when you genuinely don't care, they become powerless. Manipulators know this, and they use silence to make you care more, all while they pretend to care less. So, how do we fight back? Let's explore section 4. 3 rules for defense. Rule number 1 is simple. Mirror their energy. When they ignore you, you ignore them right back. But, and this is a huge but, you cannot fake this. You have to genuinely get busy with your own life. Stop agonizing over your phone waiting for their message. Stop craving their approval. Because psychologically, the second you look desperate, their control over your mind gets infinitely stronger. You've got to take that control back. Rule number 2, disappear completely. Look, a half-hearted ignore just doesn't work. If you're going to do it, you have to go full mode. Disappear from social media. Cut back on talking to mutual friends. Make your presence completely invisible to them. When you do this, the manipulator will suddenly realize they've lost their absolute greatest weapon, your attention. And rule number 3, build your own empire. While they're busy playing games and ignoring you, you need to actively upgrade yourself. Hit the gym, learn new skills, meet new people. Make yourself so mentally and physically strong that their silence literally bounces right off you. Because once you're truly strong, you realize you don't actually need them at all. The behavioral psychology at play here is simple but absolute. No one can permanently ignore you once you genuinely move on. See, being ignored only works as a psychological weapon as long as you actually react to it. The exact moment you stop reacting, their weapon becomes entirely useless. Which leads us to our ultimate goal in section 5, becoming completely unbreakable. Now, you might think the best counterattack is ignoring them back, just to hurt them. But honestly, that's a fake victory. You're still playing their petty game. The real victory? That is choosing to become the owner of your own life by removing them from it permanently. You cut their access to you entirely. Because the day you value yourself so much that you no longer need anyone else's external validation, that is the exact moment you defeat their psychology. You aren't just reacting anymore, you're living entirely on your own terms, completely unaffected by their silence. And that, my friends, is the day you win. So, as we wrap up, you really have two options. You can either suffer every single time someone ignores you, living at the mercy of their messages, or you can take control. I want to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. Will you keep letting their silent weapon control your mind, or are you finally ready to be unbreakable?